You know the law. So you know your mama cannot wake up and say, "Maybe say me dey back to parliament."
Arafo Okatakyire FIFA are clashing with Kwame A+ over 10 commenter obabi make here. Arafo in him say President Mahama ba ben mu no. Amanfo bebre na le rani commentary. Ebi mu kra ka say President Mahama ne nkrofo person mo ma no nko 10. Na sa comment we are circulate on social media no. Kwame A+ edi na no ba betu mu some days ago. Na sa same way Kwame A+ ba be kan no. Okatakyire FIFA say as a Kwame A+ on drink and sa wakasa. Now of war with that majile ba be consem ni mu. Aha Ghana gossip. So ye new viewer. Now subscribe ya may just subscribe like it. Charge your comments ni mu na fe share video no na ma foforo into me enhwebi. Into Kwame A+ somewhere last week mu ho. Okokopie mu o UTV on my morning show no so. Now on this show and obabe kasafa President Mahama ho echechim say President Mahama person ko tetema obetumi akọ odimra ene ebeye adwuma arofo say na A+ edi ne nkomo na yentie no emfamra
kwachofo so dia betu jase no kre bia sa
ono kra wanka ne kwachofo so wanka ne
adena nke so kan say
John Mahama betumi esiki for billion terms eyemra Ghana constitution ya wodi ya media ye nyina betumi constitution no ye say wo pese wo sesa bibi wo mu afa kɔ ha emra ne ye troye no ye say justice soa to force attorney general ne judgment no otro wo mu say constitution no enye just text to say ne da he den you are why
hello me dem say honorable kan wasem me
first year kan wasem a living organism capable of growth. Into no constitution, no, it will say any, and yes, say attract one and one, no. So if the president thinks that the term limit, no, Ghana, obey to meet the constitution now call parliament. Say parliament, me feel say Ghana, no, I will say a term limit free. So udi 100 terms, Ghana conform some power. Also, what transnational development? I am right that ho, and yet your mama is share some run.
But for now, dear,
for now, no, your mama on make us as about me per se. I didn't go be a trim say. Nya ye de say do mama petete omu ya lawyer for omu nim ne emra ne say John Mahama feel so person otena so bi mu a on famra parliament obo ba beto yen wo ho yen ne be hwe ade nu aka say okay emra no ampa ya change emra na yen say wudi
Inzara for send amoti ye no A+ and oba be kasa wa how to miss on wa ba be kire na adwen senyo hunu no and on wa ba be kire na adwen but Okatakyire FIFA etna se din or she interview ni din or say no there's something wrong and you are babontin or say A+ anybody A+ ye ne personal person but comment we nko A+ pass yero on any nyadin and the Okatakyire FIFA the mark A+ left right center e kwan Okatakyire FIFA afa so blast A+ in this very video no arofo se weni sese enkantrel for the record show no otumu so Okatakyire FIFA heat or the ba no enye fe the agro no de entie no e wo this side enfamra
yifrim na yifrim ne ya Kwame A+ o kan nyina muni amoya we obi yankan susu biase the menu A+ kan yes it is true sir constitution of Ghana now the nifa article 1-2 that is supremacy of the constitution. Who read the constitution of the Republic? Or say this constitution shall be the supreme law of Ghana, and any other law found to be inconsistent shall to the extent of its inconsistency be void. That is the article 1-2. Or say this is the supreme law of Ghana. So Oya Mrebia Samrana must conform with the provisions of this constitution. If any constitution say no constitution if be abra to the extent of any nebra bono it shall be void. Again, offer constitution and I'm say you free baby nearby. Na ye di history so Dani project say me won say Kwame Ekoti justice soa ne famous quote wa o make here in the case of a year to 4 versus attorney general o make quote famra Or say a written constitution such as ours is not an ordinary act of parliament. Then position here, let me read my Ghana follow. Position here. Or say a written constitution such as ours is not an ordinary act of parliament. It embodies the will of the people.
Precisely.
It also mirrors their history.
Exactly.
So the constitution it mirrors the history of this country. History ni say. History ni say. Emrebi bedui. Kwame Nkrumah declared who a president for life. He declared Ghana one party state. And no nam suma ku ni ade bebre bae. So the constitution trying to solve that issue. And omudi asem say you shall have a term of presidency 4 years for 2 terms. And the Kwame Plus Sabe Kase, your mama bet me the Maraba, near ya pass it, no a court, no a. It means you are not taking into account the history of this nation. When Kwame Nkrumah declared one party state and president for life. So your mama, yes, sir, constitution is not looking at him, it's you. It also mirrors the history account, therefore needs to be taken of it as a landmark in the people's search for progress. So for your history, your constitution you need to look at the constitution as a landmark. Say your direction for the progress. And baby you free bano. Yes, say be Jimmy Fona so free baby but osako ho wa bra woku. Enti edua anansidi wu ye no. Enti kuma ntenase entonko. So Kwame Plus beka say your mama betimi a edete mra no. You oba amende mra. Na watena so a. Ye free baby ne ya ba ye hunu bi pen. And just so ayi ne bra. Fire. Now we it contains within it their aspirations and their hopes for the better and fuller life. So constitution it is not just a constitution. It contains the people's aspirations for better life. Now what was the framers of the constitution omunim baby a free ba say yenya 1960 constitution 1969 constitution 79 constitution 1992 and yamani bebre wo ho a we've amended them precisely ya yen sakraye wo mu it will article 21 a eduru baby Kwame Nkrumah fa eye real koto that is ba for akoto ne eye David Ankwane ademu koto no na ye ni bibia under the constitution a multimedia eye obi court for actor a breaching a part of the constitution. It's Yababe doing the question article 21. Says enei obia yamra obia ye bibi na say a breaching any part of the constitution. Obetimi akọ under article 21 and 130 of the constitution, which gives power to the Supreme Court. So obe make a declaration to that effect. So first of all, and then the constitution ma ho kwan ma timi ko ekoko sikise o ebi adoma ma ye bibi na your own constitution. Now, framers of the constitution, omo person omo so be mischief of or chena obi sorry enya de wo Kwame Plus oye no ye fra bibi eye basic structure doctrine. The doctrine of basic structure. Because Justice Sowa say the constitution contains the history of the people, you know. Say even obey amend the constitution and you be na betimi amend it because of the basic structure. That's a basic structure doctrine. There is a case in you can say 1973 in India. Your friend Kasa Navadando said there versus state of Bharati. Now omo basic structure almost say constitutional certain part of the constitution you cannot touch it because the spine the bone of the constitution it's that means you've overthrown the constitution to come in with another one. So the basic structure there is a case of David Indi versus a year Attorney General in Kenya. Tell Kenya 4 years on best constitution constitution. The Kenyan Supreme Court declares so because of the basic structure doctrine you cannot touch certain provisions in the constitution. Now, your framers of the constitution, among person watching a benya se bobia na adwene no say a majority in parliament. It's one of wo ye ni ade no. Yanko Article 66. Now Yanko Hedie Eka. Now Article 66 of the Constitution and what chapter 8 of the Constitution. Chapter 8 in a head no the executive. So anything that is said under chapter 8, now Article 66 to a person shall not be elected to hold office of Ghana for more than 2 terms. Back Article 66 1. 66-1 on your radio. Then it 66-1. So Kofi, and I'm saying the framers or say a person elected as president shall, subject to clause 1 of this article, hold office for a term of 4 years, beginning from the date on which he is sworn in as president. So Article 66-1 say you to abamount say be president. Obetimi aye president for just 4 years, which is a term. Oko 66-2. You read 66-2. 66-2 say you can only be a president for saya to abama 4 years and only 2 terms. So 66-2 say a person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms. Edientia yempe Kwame Nkrumah when declare who state you can say president for life. It watching Kwame plus say your mama betime de yina banu declare who say debi yempe sa ye history nti yempe bureaucratic. Yefri baby ne yeba yempe si no omudi shame no na omudi shame wie no ana omo ho se yebetimi anya bodam ni bi oba be president na wo kire o se me declare me who president for life eti constitution omo chemu mienu yefri bi entrenched provisions and non-entrenched provisions. Entrenched provisions in here day or say yes e omo say parliament under article 290 e what the amendment powers of a year the supreme so betimi amende and some person mo amend any part of the constitution omum pass mra amende etu for constitution de di kan ya obehaye wo the 527th act of parliament of the Republic of Ghana entitled the Constitution. So a act and a passed constitution and some amendments. It's OSHA Article 8. Article 8 first said they're not every day. It is no longer the same here. It's here the act way and I amended Article 8. So baby was say Article 8 of Constitution is repealed and the following is inserted. It is a read Article 8. As who say you repeal and you amended with this. Come and read this one. Okay. Now you say parliament will to me so to me amende. Nemo mu yempe de Kwame ye plus e kano. It's yanko article 290. Ni yanko hwa de.
Indicates them.
Entrenched provisions, non-entrenched. And a constitution is say the anya non-entrenched no. And no the what they call parliament. Parliament bet me amended. Nemo mu or the roadblocks be to ho. Said the be ya. Who person one amended the entrenched provisions. Obebre. Tienio. So nya easy say Kwame Beka say your mama bet me the mraba parliament. Ni ya amended. Anya no correct. Now Danny zoom in na menchiro Ghana for there. Zoom in. I say okay, so Danny what about clause 4? Let's go to clause 1. 290 clause 1. Let's go to 290 clause 1. Let's read the clause 1, clause 2, clause 3. Now 290 is going to show us the processes are open so we amending entrenched provisions. And constitution was entrenched provisions, you know. The whole of chapter 8. So OSHA article 290 I say amendment of entrenched provisions. Now that Danny Fameko article 1. Good. Zoom in. Or say this article applies to amendment of the following provisions of the Constitution, which are in the Constitution. Okay, so then refer to as entrenched provisions. It's provisions here. Obebobon was you know. Your friend no entrenched provisions. And no one mean tamu amfanko parliament keke. So now Osha was say hey. The Constitution, Article 1, 2, and 3. The entire person Article 1, 2, and 3 Gina ho. No obient me for sanka anyhow. It's because Article 1 and a care about the supremacy of the Constitution. It's Yamakwam will be amended noa. That means obet me against the Article 2.1 and also the Supreme Court the power to make declarations when obey the assembly. It's Yamakwam will amended anyhow a best. Article 3. I think the territorial citizens or territorial. Let me go to Article 3. Now, already Article was say, Danny, don't zoom back. Now, I see the following. Okay, a clause 1F. Or see the executive. It's Danny for second page in the Tuso. Or see the executive, the whole chapter 8. So, me know Kasafa Constitution. The whole chapter 8. Bibi account will be a entrenched provision. the term limits of the president, who qualifies to be president, who can stand for president. Ninyina wanda chapter 8.
Exactly.
The presidential powers. So then be court 20 me fanen kokol. Ninyina wanda chapter 8. And 290 say chapter 8 ninyina ye entrenched provisions.
Exactly.
It's yafe yan kwahwe kwan ye fa so. Amend this up as entrenched provision. Yan kwan ye fa so. So it's not easy say kwa me be ka say obetimi de maraba and ye be hwe ne pass. Kwa me janse hunu benim say o sheda na this answer buri. Cause when you know the law. So you know your mama cannot wake up and say me be say me de ba to parliament.
In that of war, senior Motiano, this according to Okatakyire FIFA and the Obabe Fire A+. All over the third term comments Obabe pass here Afrifa President Mahama when out of also there now Jim Fahu. Do you think so what A+ is saying no sa na be ye third term need your President Mahama be kwa na and now also on your Okatakyire FIFA dream. I mean why drink your comments in more higher Ghana gossips. Yet the more updated then eba wakwin.